All right, so the question came to me. They said, RGG, how you gonna survive on YouTube in Illinois with all those restrictions and all those weird laws? What you gonna do? I don't know. Let's talk about it. So I guess the big question is, why would I move back to Illinois from Florida to an anti-gun state from a pro-gun state, right? You asked that question. Because originally I moved from Illinois to Florida for that exact reason. Well, long story short, family, man. I got some beautiful grandchildren that are growing up right now. It means everything for me to get closer to them. And I also have a ton of family here in Illinois. This is what I know. All I know is Chicago and surrounding areas. This is what I know. Sometimes that's bigger than the guns. But this is a gun channel, and that's what we talk about here. So let me get to the business of it and how I'm going to survive through all the challenges that Illinois throws. If you haven't heard, I recently purchased a couple acres of land here in Illinois, 2 acres to be exact. And my goal is to ultimately put my office there. So I purchased a shipping container. We're finishing the inside of the shipping container, and I'm gonna use the access land and I'm gonna build a gun range. And I've already started the process of all of this stuff. Ideally, I wanted to do the FFL because it's an easy segue for me in the business. I'm already in the business, so becoming an FFL made the most sense. Also allows me to be able to, as a business, retain a lot of the things that I already have legally obtained. So I don't lose those particular firearms or different items that I have that I've acquired that aren't necessarily legal here in Illinois, right? So that was a way for me to be able to be back home with family, legally do it, following the rules, but still be able to maintain and make my living doing what I'm doing here. And then I was asked the question, was Florida better? Was Florida better? I wouldn't change the fact that I went to Florida for a couple years because I was able to learn so much. But is it better for me in this business? Probably not. And I can give you several reasons why it's not better for me from a business perspective. Before I left Illinois, I am an instructor, right? So I did tons of classes here. Again, there's a network of people here that I know that I'm able to access, right, easily. So I was able to do classes frequently. When I went to Florida, I never did classes. Why? 2 reasons. One, it's cluttered with instructors. Everybody's instructors, constitutional carry. So everybody's fighting to get students to come train and get them to do classes and all of the other stuff. So I never even tried to enter into that market because I just didn't have enough relationships. So I just kind of stuck to what I was doing from a business perspective, which is, you know, firearm content on YouTube and some Instagram stuff. In Illinois, there's a lot of instructors, but you're talking about a much bigger state. It's much more spread out. So there's a lot of people that need that type of stuff versus, you know, Florida. The Tampa area to be exact, which is where I was at. The other side of it is a gun range situation. Well, it was costing me anywhere from $1,500 to $1,800 a year just to be able to go to the range 1 day a week. It's starting to drizzle out here a little bit. But just to be able to go to the range 1 day a week, I was spending probably $1,800 a year. Well, that expense goes away having your own range. Okay, so that's another pro of being here in Illinois versus Florida. Plus, puts me back in the fight, right? I'm one of the few influencers here, especially minority gun influencers here in Illinois. I don't even know if there's any more. If there are, reach out to me because I'd love for us to be able to collab and network, but I know that there's not very many. So this also allows me to be in the midst and be in the fight and work with organizations here and do stuff that I had began to do before I abruptly moved away. Additionally, when it comes to range work and doing content, there's much less restrictions when you have your own range. Now, obviously, YouTube has its own restrictions, but there's certain things that some outdoor ranges just don't allow you to do. And in Florida, a couple of those ranges were really strict, right? I want to send a big shout out to Fishhawk. That's a range, I think in Lithia, Florida, man. That's the range I had the best experience at. The other ones, I don't have anything to say, you know, good or bad. I'm just nothing else to say. They had a lot of restrictions, right? They don't want you to rapid fire. You can only shoot this type of target and When a lot of the stuff is not unsafe, it's just they pick and choose who they let do those things. But anyway, I don't have that restriction anymore. Also, I'll be able to do FFL transfers. That's another form of income, another way to build more relationships. And also, I'll be able to have direct shipments come from a lot of the companies that I've been working with over the years. So now they don't have to send it to another FFL. I can avoid those transfer fees. So in theory, it saves me a lot of money, right? Being back here in Illinois. So all in all, this was a huge adjustment for me, right? Very expensive as well, trying to get all of this done, but it's worth it. I think in the long run, this was the move to make. Will I spend the rest of my life here in my home state? I don't know. I'm getting older now, man. I do miss that Florida weather because, you know, you get into January, February, I can still be outside. January, February here, I got an electric blanket on. So that is a big difference. But I've made the plunge now. I went all in to get this done because I believe in it. I believe in me. I believe in my family. I believe in my supporters. I believe in everything that goes on around this. I believe in God, most importantly. And I know that there's a big plan in place. It wouldn't have gotten this far if this wasn't meant to be. There's a lot of opportunity here, and I plan to take advantage of it. So I wanted to tell you guys why I moved from a pro-gun state back to an anti-gun state, man. I came back home, and the food, oh my God, the food. Ain't nobody mess with Chicago when it comes to the food. Do me a favor, stay solid. It's free. Defend what you love.